Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fad Free Zone. Today I'm really excited. I want to talk about the current trend train that everyone is jumping on. It is a fad diet, make no mistake, so that's why we're talking about it today. So before you jump on this trend, listen up. Today's discussion is all things carnivore diet. Brace, brace. Apparently, vegetables are the enemy and meat is the only thing that is your friend. So let's just talk about this for a minute and a bit. Is vegetable really the enemy? I don't know. As a nutritionist, I'm finding this a little difficult to swallow, and that's why I'm talking about it today. So if you don't know what carnivore is, essentially, it is a diet that asks you to rid yourself of all things plant-based and all things processed. So no alcohols, no sugars. Most carnivore diets start you off with no dairy, so no cheeses and things like that. It's pretty much meat only. That's it, meat on a plate. That's what you got. And you do this for all your meals, all your snacks, all your meals. The original intent for this was that you go through a certain therapeutic period where you introduce it and wean off the other things. Then you're set for carnivore only, 100% meat for X amount of time, and then you start reintroducing other elements of your diet. However, what I have found, as with most things that have been overly simplified via the internet and social media, is that most people just go hardcore into carnivore, straight into eating only meat, and they stay there for as long as they dare. Okay, most people are going to stay there until the binge comes and everything falls apart. But there are some people who are really hardcore strict about it and they've stuck with the meat for a long term. So they're just keeping at it because they feel good on it. As with most diets, people generally feel good on them. And the question that I posed on social media and the question that I want to pose here today is this: is it the meat and the absence of vegetables that's making them feel good? Or is it the absence of the processed carbohydrates and refined foods and alcohols and sugars that's making them feel good? The fact of the matter is that you are cutting out a lot of these elements in modern diets that aren't serving you. So carnivore requires you to cut loose the ties that you have to sugars, to alcohols, to refined carbohydrates. So things like breads and wraps and deep fried potato and all of this space, which we as nutritionists are looking at and going, these are really pro-inflammatory foods. And your inflammation is the gateway into a state of dis-ease and discomfort in the body, right? So is it really that vegetables are the enemy? I don't know. I don't think so. On top of that, the research around carnivore diet has no longevity yet. So my question further into this and into the science of this and into the health and longevity aspect of this is, what damage are we doing long term by cutting out huge food groups? And this is a question that I ask pretty much for every single diet that's out there. What are the long-term benefits and or risks? Straight up. Here's my issue in carnivore and my concerns in terms of long-term in carnivore. Vegetables provide fiber, and fiber is necessary for optimal digestive health. Right. Even if we take the fiber from the aspect of bowel regulation away, let's talk about the microbiome. Microbiome is something that is super in the ether, right? Everybody kind of knows a little bit about gut bugs. Even if you're not a practitioner, even if you don't know the science behind it, you've kind of heard about these bugs in your gut that are really good for your health. And more specifically, how important they are in linking all different aspects of your health. So yes, the microbiome population of good gut bacteria needs to be varied. So there needs to be lots of different populations and colonies. And they have a very, very close relationship with things like your immune system, with things like your neurological health, so your brain health, with things like your emotional and mental health, so your moods. Things like depression and anxiety are being closely monitored and linked now in science with changes to the microbiome. So when we take the fiber out, so that's all your vegetables, because you're not getting very much fiber from meat, guys. Sorry, it's negligible, right? When you take that fiber away, that is the food for those bugs. That is your prebiotic. So what happens when you take that food away from them? What do they eat? Or do they just starve and die off? Yeah. For those of you who are really onto it, you're going to go, but when you have opportunistic bacteria, so pathogens in the gut that are thriving, isn't it good to do a die-off? Yes and no. So a lot of these diets, carnivore being no different, are originally designed with a specific therapeutic purpose in mind. So they're originally started by someone who's working with someone else, and they're doing a dance of guidance and therapeutic effect, right? Then it gets released as results via a journal article or what have you in the science, starts to build on that, and then it gets released to the public and it gets adulterated and it's overly simplified. Yes, all of these diets, carnivore included, have beautiful therapeutic potential when it is in this little space where it is monitored and you are under guidance of a practitioner, a qualified practitioner. And does that mean it's designed for long term? I don't believe so. It's designed to facilitate a specific therapeutic outcome, and then we move on. Same like any elimination diet. Elimination diets we run for a certain period of time before we start reintroduction. And you're doing this alongside your practitioner so that they're monitoring you and tweaking the journey as you go. But when we're doing this just based off information from the internet, and we're doing it on our own from unqualified advice and sources, are we actually getting the same therapeutic potential? Not so much. Are the risks then going up and kind of outweighing the benefits? I believe that might be the case. So for those of you who want to jump on the carnivore train and you're still really, really set on this, I want to introduce something else to you. And this is really sort of building on that question of, is the vegetable really the enemy? Out of all the benefits, out of all the positive outcomes that I've heard of and seen through carnivore, the question is it really the absence of the vegetable and the meat itself that's giving that effect? Because I see results like this. I see the weight release, I see the bloating release, I see the water retention release, I see the hormonal balance and the shift in headaches and the changes in the skin and all these positive health outcomes. I see them every day with the clients that I do work with in terms of balanced plates. So balanced health nutrition. I see this every day in the women that come through the Catalyst program, right? Which is a program I work in where we design personalized nutrition plans for people so that they can reach their specific health goals. I can give you more information on that if you'd like to know more about it. The thing is that they are still eating vegetables. They are still eating 3 proper meals a day. They are still eating protein. They are still having some of those fats. They are still drinking a coffee or a tea, or they are still eating 3 different fruits every single day. They are having an apple a day. They are having a pear a day. They are indulging in berries for breakfast, for example. They are eating all of those food groups and getting the exact same results that people are getting by cutting out entire ranges and spectrums from their diet. So if one group of varying ages and backgrounds and ethnicities and cultures, and even from varying different parts of the world where you're having access to different types of foods, if they are all getting the same results as the people who are cutting out those whole food groups, like the trend train of carnivore, is it really the vegetable that's the problem? Or is it just about cutting out the processed crap in your diet? Shock, horror. Shock, horror. The fact of the matter is that you can get the best results for any kind of health goal that you have, by the way. This is not just a weight release game. If you're just looking to lose weight, great. This episode is for you. This advice is for you. If you're looking to reduce your bloating, this advice is for you. If you've got headaches that you experience all the time and you want to shift those, this advice is for you. If you've got skin conditions or issues that you're trying to heal, this advice is for you. If you've got brain fog, if you've got sleep issues, if you've got hormonal imbalance, if you have diagnosed conditions like autoimmune conditions or digestive conditions or female reproductive conditions, like all of these things, this advice is for you. It doesn't need to be so extreme for you to get a result. We live in this society where everyone wants an extreme answer to everything. It has to either be over the top on one side or it has to be overly simplified on the other. But the happy medium actually gets you the same result. It's just about you being willing to try it out. It's just about you being willing to learn something new. You think by jumping on something like carnivore that you are not giving up those things that you have the FOMO about. So what I see a lot as a nutritionist and naturopath is people have FOMO. Oh, I'm going to miss out on my chocolate. Oh, I'm going to miss out on this. Oh, I'm going to miss out on that. But you're willingly cutting it out of carnivore. And if you're not, then you're not doing it right, are you? So what's the difference between cutting it out in carnivore or cutting it out in something like the Catalyst program where you are actually still eating whole food, balanced meals every single day? No difference. This extreme approach to health is really dangerous in the long term. And I urge you to be a bit more discerning with the information and a bit more discerning with jumping on the trend train. Consider this with every diet, particularly carnivore. Consider the question, is it really about the vegetable being the enemy? Or is it just the cutting out of those inflammatory processed items that's really going to make the difference for you? Something to take with you, and something that I hope will give you a little bit of extra insight when you're considering these trend diets and fads. So that's my little piece on carnivore. I really hope that you got something great out of this because it is part of my mission to let you know that there are other better options for you that are going to sustain you so much better in the long run. As always, if you've enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, share this with someone else so that we can get this message far and wide to everybody and anybody who needs it. As always, you can find me on social media, and feel free to send through suggestions of things you would love for me to talk about. And I will see you next time.